Autism affects over 2 million individuals in the U.S. and tens of millions worldwide. We spoke with Carrie Mataya, an author and the founder of Autism Asperger Syndrome Consulting Group, which specializes in autism spectrum disorders, or ASD. We ask her how stress and anxiety affect individuals with ASD.
For individuals with ASD, they often experience higher levels of stress and anxiety on a daily basis. Stress and anxiety can and often does interfere with daily functioning in areas that we all need, such as sleep, concentration, your ability to regulate emotions, desire to go to school, or motivation for work. We know of a lot of things nowadays for individuals with ASD, such as having a difficult time with change in transition, or task frustration, such as reading comprehension, or abstract reasoning. But all of these things, it's oftentimes because somebody doesn't know how to do something, what to do, or why something is happening. And to me, all of those areas have one thing in common, which is a problem that needs a solution. And problem solving is something that many of us take for granted. It comes easily to us. If we don't know what to do, we can usually adapt. But for individuals with ASD that often have deficits in problem solving, this can be difficult.
Carrie Mataya talks about challenging behavior for someone with ASD.
Challenging behavior can signal a weakness in problem solving. If somebody is frustrated and they're hitting, do they know what they can do differently rather than hitting, whether it's to express themselves or to cope with feelings of anger? If somebody's interrupting the class, do they know how to get the teacher's attention differently? If someone's late for work, do they know something else to do that could help them to get there on time? All of those things require problem solving. A common indicator of somebody that has a hard time with problem solving can be someone who has a difficult time letting things go and moving on. They may bring up an unresolved problem for years to come. I have some students who they're in 7th grade and they're bringing up things that happen in kindergarten. Somebody else that has a hard time with problem solving could be that they can't identify solutions to problems. So I might ask somebody, what could you do if you really wanted to play checkers, but you had only the checkers board and the black pieces? And somebody with problem-solving deficits might say, I don't know, or that they wouldn't play the game, which is not necessarily a solution that's going to allow you to be able to play checkers. You would want for somebody to be able to realize, I don't have the red pieces, but I can use money instead, or coins, to replace those red pieces and still play. But what I wanted to do was give individuals with ASD the choice to choose. In this situation, what would I do to resolve this problem? Because we know that what's appropriate in one situation is not always appropriate in another. And what if the solution that you choose doesn't work? Then what do you do? And so I developed a book called Successful Problem Solving. And in there, you have to define what the problem is, and then you have 4 options. And those 4 options are to seek help, talk it out and compromise, let it go and move on, or let it bother you.
What are the myths associated with autism spectrum disorder?
Most people think that everyone with autism looks like Rain Man. Another is that everybody with an autism spectrum disorder rocks or flaps their hands. If somebody with an autism spectrum disorder is interrupting the class, that they're just that way and that there's nothing that you can do about that. A lot of times when we're looking at behavior for individuals with ASD, I'll go into classrooms and I'll see that a teacher says, stop interrupting, or stop doing that, stop doing this. Well, with challenging behavior, it's important to know that challenging behavior has replacement behaviors, which means that for every negative behavior, there's a positive one.
When we return, we'll have more on autism education with Judy Endow, who provides consultation for families, school districts, and other agencies about autism. Judy Endow is an author and international speaker on a wide variety of autism-related topics, and she's a board member of the Autism Society of America, Wisconsin chapter. She's also on the Autism National Committee. We ask her about her book, Outsmarting Explosive Behavior.
Most people want to know, what do I do when the explosive behavior occurs? And the truth is the only thing you can do is make everybody safe. And the time to prevent explosive behavior is in the beginning stages. So you have to understand the whispers of it. When is it coming? And that's where you can successfully intervene. A lot of people with autism spectrum disorders have a neurology that means that they thrive on predictability, sameness, and routine in their lives. An example would be a child who wakes up in the morning and they're used to having a certain breakfast cereal, and maybe that breakfast cereal is out because their big brother ate the last serving. And because that's part of their routine, they have difficulty negotiating that situation. So even though there might be 3 other varieties there, it wouldn't occur to them that they could switch. A lot of times there's increased stress. People with autism, like I have autism myself, is we know that we're expected to act like the rest of the people in the world. And we know that if we mess up, that then people are going to make assumptions about us. And none of those assumptions are ever favorable. And so just going out the door into the world automatically increases anxiety. People don't understand an autism neurology, and a lot of times the behaviors of people on the autism spectrum are actually solutions to solving their own problems. An example is a child in school walks down the hallway, and they have to run their hand across all the lockers as they go down the hallway. That person turns out that his sensory system isn't giving him reliable feedback, and he's not quite sure where his body's located, so he's got to come in physical contact with something all along the way. You want him to stop doing it, but actually that's his solution for making it down the hall.
Judy gave us some encouraging words about individuals with autism.
I always tell kids, well, you know, having autism just means that you get to be real creative, because you have to outsmart the hard parts that trip you up, you know, so you can do what you want in the world and be who you want to be. One of the really important things about autism today is that we really do know how to make life work for people with autism. We do know how to support individuals with autism. They have lots of potential and can live very full lives and be participating members of society and even have jobs and contribute and give back. And I don't think a lot of people know that. They're still under the old assumption that that we don't know anything about autism, like it's a mystery, it's a puzzle, you know, all those kinds of things. And that really isn't any longer true, even though it was, you know, a very short time ago.